Okay. Hello. We have Sandra. We have Yemi Jagede already. How you guys doing?
Hello, how you doing?
Hello, Sandra. You are as late as anyone could be. As early as anyone could be. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I took a nice sleep. You're looking good. Took a nice sleep.
Where's my shirt? Where's my shirt? I'm not. Let me see, please. If you can hear me, come to my rescue. Where's my blooming head shirt? I'm not happy about the way politics plays into real estate. It's not.
Don't worry. Don't worry. We'll get yours rolling.
Now that Uncle Joe is sitting down. I mean, come on now. Nice.
Don't worry, we'll make it work.
We'll make it work. How are you?
I'm good. I took a nice rest. Hopefully we'll see how today goes. Not sure. First time presenting to everybody.
Give me 1 second. Let me grab my notebook.
Okay, sure, definitely. Sure. Okay, can you see my screen? Sorry. That's for me. Sorry, let me adjust it here. So that I was trying to join from the other screen. Do I even need it? Let me see. So.
Oh, sorry. Oh, hold on. Hey, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Hi, Daya. Are you there?
Oh yeah, I'm here. Sorry.
Okay.
I was on mute by myself.
Okay.
Who is that? Rod?
This is Aya.
Oh, okay. Hey, how you doing? Tosin, I see you.
Yeah, I'm fine, thank you.
Hey, David, thanks for joining. All right. Let me go grab my coffee. Then we'll start soon.
Thanks. Go do your stuff.
All right. Hi, Sonia.
Hi, Daya. Hi, Sandra.
Hi, Sonia. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
All right. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. Good. I was trying to join from two sides. So let me see. Will I be able to play this video? I'm not sure. Okay, I'll see. I know what I'm gonna do.
this one. All right, we'll be back.
Tosin, how you doing now?
Lexi, I'm fine. What about you?
What shall I?
Nothing much. You're driving.
Yeah. I want to go pick my son. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
How's the family?
Yeah, we're good. What about yours?
Oh, well, okay.
Yeah. And thanks. I saw the email a lot.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Okay.
I thought I'm bad boss.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Let me holler people on the stuff just in case anybody else wants to join. Let's see.
All right, I'm back. Hey, Prashan.
Hey Dio, what's going on?
I'm good. How you doing? Thanks for joining.
No problem. Thanks for inviting me.
Let me put my phone on silent, and it's 4:00. So let's wait for like a couple of minutes, and we are going to get started. We don't want to wait too long. Hello, Rod. All right, we got Rod. I see Akindele Akinola, Adeola Adenito. I'm not sure which shame is this, but is this Shema Shomefo? We are going to start soon.
The one and only.
Alpha. All right, Emeka. Okay. Okay, good. This is a big, better view. Okay, awesome. All right, thanks for joining. We are going to start very soon. If you're just joining, my name is Dayo Jegede because I know some people joined through friends, so I need to introduce myself. Tokwe, I see you. All right, we'll start by 4:05, just so whoever wants to join can join. We have enough people. We have okay. I don't know Matt a lot, but we have like 20 already. Jay, Femi Fadero. Thanks for joining, everybody. We are going to start soon. Hi, Rod. You're looking good. I cannot hear you, Rod. You want to fix the microphone? Now I can hear you loud and clear. Yes, and we are recording. Don't worry. I paid for Zoom, not the 40 minutes, so it's recording. All right, cool. We'll start soon. So that you're asking me a question on WhatsApp, but you can hear my response on Zoom.
Okay.
All right. I'm trying to see everybody I can remember, so I call the names. Obaro. Now, if your name is not your name on Zoom, then that's when I start calling you Kunle's iPhone, Emeka iPhone. You know, when you don't name your name the right way. So as soon as I see your face, I'll start calling you your iPhone name. So I know you're using iPhone anyway. All right. Let's give you 1 more minute, then we'll start. Thank you, everybody, for joining. This should probably be an hour, hopefully. We should be done in no time, but I really appreciate your time. Kemi, thanks for joining. Lai, thanks for joining, Lai. I'll tell you why it's important for you to join. All right. Yeah, Israel. Okay. Lekonsi, thanks for joining. All right, I think we can start. We have enough people already, so it's important to start early. All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining. My name is Dayo Jegede. OPP, thanks for joining. Quick one. So it is, you know, I mentioned Lai's name because I was supposed to have a conversation with Lai and Wale, and over the next 2 weeks, it eventually metamorphosized into what we have right now. So if you're joining us, thank you very much. The intention was just to talk to a few friends, but I ended up finding that I have a lot of friends. So thanks for volunteering your time. Thanks for hanging out with us today. It's going to be exciting. I hope so. If you want, you can let me see your face. I think that would be nice. A lot of friends are joining from different parts of the country, of the world. All right. I promise you, today's talk is not about Michael Jordan. Let me tell you that first of all. As a matter of fact, I'm a LeBron fan. But so that when you see my next slide, you'll be like, why we do Michael Jordan today? So basically, I'm sure most of us will watch The Last Dance, right? And I actually enjoyed it. I was able to stream it, and I did not watch it immediately. So when I sat down and I wanted to watch it, episode 7 was what caught my attention. You know, like I said, I'm not really a Michael Jordan fan, but it was saying something about leadership and winning. And I kind of like attributed it to another part of a subset of my own life. So I thought, you know what, I might just add it to the slide. And he said something, winning as a prize, leadership as a prize. He personally was talking about his experience, and he shed tears at the end of that episode 7. If you've not seen it, go and see it. I'm going to try and play the video. Let me see if you can hear the sound. If not, I will see, maybe I'll just send the link and you can watch it in your own time. So let me try my best to see if I can share this sound. I just wanted to see that. I think it has a lot to do with what we're talking about today, which is real estate. So that's why I want to share that particular slide. So give me a second, please. Then we can continue. All right. Let me see. It's going to be hard for me to share this my slides. All right, cool. Can you see this slide? That's the Jordan 23.
Not yet.
Not yet? Oh, okay.
I can see.
Sorry.
Yes, we can see.
Yes, I can see.
What do you see?
It's,
You see
the
is it
video.
the one that has the video, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Can you hear the sound?
Well, you just started playing it.
Can you hear the sound?
No.
Oh, okay. All right. So let me do this. I just feel this good. Sorry. This Zoom thing. All right. I'm going to send it to the chat group. If you have time, let me give you 3 minutes. If you are driving, don't watch. If you have time, click that link, watch the video, and I'll be back in 3 minutes. I just want to say something about it. I sent it to the chat group. Watch it. It's a 3-minute video. Then you'll be right back. All right. If you're just joining, I sent a link to the chat group. Check it out. Watch the video. We'll continue from there.
Hey, Dayo,
Yeah.
can you hear me?
Yes. I can hear you.
Hello, Dayo.
All right, that's a very good video.
All right. Thank you very much. I'm sure some of us have seen it before. Maybe it didn't resonate. That was Michael Jordan in episode 7 talking about leadership as a prize, winning has a prize. And that's why I put it right here. Real estate had its prize, and to be honest, apart from the monetary aspect of it, I think your prize is the time. So when I talk about my real estate journey, I'm going to talk about the price that I've paid to be here, which I want you to understand and I want it to resonate with other people, because that is why we are doing this. So that's why I wanted us to see that video. If you're just joining us, you can check it out later. All right, so let's get started to what we are here to do officially today. We're talking about real estate fundamentals. My name is Dayo Jegede. Wale Okusonya, thanks for joining. Quickly, let me say thank you to my wife. She's not here right now. She was the one that put this beautiful slide together for us to put it on social media. So I'll be your host. I'm a managing partner with Blooming Edge Group. Our company was founded in 2019, almost 2 years now. Sandra Isiguso, funny enough, all these people, maybe I should call them my friend. Sandra is my friend. All these people are my friend now. So Sandra will be talking to us about how to find great real estate deals. Rod, I'll tell you more about each one of them when I get there. Rod is also a friend, but I'll tell you, introduce each more people. I'll introduce them more. He'll be talking about financing a real estate deal. And Prashan is my colleague. He'll be talking about his real estate journey. Now, all these topics they'll be talking about has a lot, to be honest with you. Each topic can go for an hour of its own. So they will have like 10, 15 minutes to talk. You will be able to ask them questions because I want to make sure that you learn from them. So meanwhile, when I'm doing my own, sorry, there won't be room for questions right now. You can ask me questions at the end. If you have a piece of paper, write down your questions. As a matter of fact, I might not answer any question because Prashant, Rod, and Sandra, they know more than I do. So I'm just privileged to know all these wonderful people. So they might be the one that will jump in and answer all the questions. So those are our speakers. My wife and I will be coordinating. I think I see her now. She has joined. Thanks, babe. So let us go. Introduction. Like I said, when I started, it was Wale Okusanya and Lai that I wanted to talk to because I wanted to collect their money. Just kidding. But I was of the mindset that we were going to introduce ourselves. So I wanted to make sure that we get to meet each other. Now, let me tell you why this is important. We have almost 25, 30 people here, maybe almost 60. So I won't be able to go through everybody. The first people on my first screen, the first 25 on my screen, I'll call you, tell us who you are, where you are, and what you do. Now, this is why I want us to do that. I know it's going to take time, but let me give you a quick background on it. I've been fortunate to work with great companies in the US, Ericsson, Microsoft. I'm now at Facebook. Apart from Ericsson, that I submitted my resume and they hired me, Microsoft was through a friend, like through my wife's friend, a long story, but it was through a network, basically. When I got the Facebook job, it was through a network. So this is why I believe your network is your network. Now, the reason I want you to introduce yourself is simple. If you can show us your face, fine. If not, it doesn't matter. When you tell us where you are, maybe someone might want to get to know you better. Maybe someone might want to partner with you. Maybe someone might want to have a business to do with you, or maybe someone needs your help. Or maybe you need someone's help that works in a different, sphere or space or where you are. So if you don't want to tell us your company name, that's fine. Just tell us who you are, tell us which location you are, tell us what you do. Maybe you have a business, it might actually help. Somebody might want to patronize you. I will send the transcript when we are done. So whoever wants to know anybody, you can relate or you can reach out to me as a point of contact. So from my first screen, I'll just go straight to Sandra. Sandra, please introduce yourself. If I don't see your face, I'll just call you the name of your Zoom. So Sandra, go first.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Rod. Hi, Prashant. Hi, Dayo. Hi, MEC. And hi to everybody else who's joining us today. I am Sandra Isiguzo. I'm based here in Atlanta, the great ATL, baby. And this is where we make stuff happen. So I'm a broker owner of Open Doors Realty LLC. I got into real estate probably now about 16 years ago. Started my brokerage firm in 2013. And I've been going at it. My particular niche is foreign real estate buyers. So that started off when the market crashed back in 2008, 2007, 8, 9-ish, where a lot of people were picking up properties for like real cheap. And so the property management aspect of my business was born. But my information is with Dayo, and I'm sure, like he said, we'll all share information down at the end of the day. So welcome to everybody. Thanks, Dayo.
Thank you. Prashant, quick one.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Dayo. Thank you so much for inviting me, and so good to see everybody over here. So real quick about myself, my name is Prashan Gandhi, and I actually work at Facebook. I am Dayo's colleague. And on the side, I also kind of am an investor and do real estate investing. I've been doing that since 2.5, 3 years now. And the name of my company is Georgia Eagle Properties. And when I get to my section, I'll dive into a little bit on the whys and how did I get started. But very nice to see everybody here.
Thank you. Rod.
Yes, my name is Rod Joseph. I'm a real estate investor, and I've been investing for a while, since 2006. A little before that, but I really say it started in 2006. And I'll tell you a little bit more about my story. I also come from the IT background, and I'll share later with you today the rest of my journey, how I got where I am today. But it's good to be here with you all.
Thank you. All right, Sonia, your name, where you are located, and what do you do? Quick one.
Hi,
Let's make it fast.
yeah,
you.
my name is Sonia Remade. I live in Fort Worth, Texas, and I'm a financial analyst. I'm very excited to be here.
Thank you. Happy to see you too. Olawale Okusonya.
Hello, my name is Olawale Okusonya. I'm based in Washington State, the Seattle area. I'm also into tech, and I am an aspiring real estate investor. Thank you.
All right. Shomefun, we won't be able to go to everybody, so I'll have to stop it. Shomefun.
Yeah, hi. My name is Sean Schmef. You can just simply call me Sean. I'm based in Nashville, Tennessee. I'm a fraud and risk analyst.
Fraud. Live.
Yeah, my name is Larry Adijola. I'm a networks engineer, and I'm based in Virginia.
All right. Yemi Jegede, the one that is my wife. Yeah, I see Yemi Jegede here.
Hi, everyone. It's good to see you. Thank you all for joining. My name is Yemi, and I am a data analyst, and then I co-founded Blooming Edge Group with my husband. He's the one doing most of the job, but I'm taking up the operational duties, and it's good to see you all. Thank you.
All right. The other Yemi that is not my wife.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Yemi, as I said. I reside in Boston. I'm a statistician, and I'm looking to learn a lot, learn as much as I can today about real estate investing and other aspects of it. Thanks for the invite, day one.
All right, you're welcome. Kemi.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kemi Alunge. I live in Austin, Texas. I am an epidemiologist for the State Health Department, and I'm happy to be here to learn about real estate and hopefully start my own journey to real estate. Yeah.
All right, thank you. There's an iPhone, I don't know. We'll probably do 5 more and we have to get started because of time. So, are you there?
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Temi Tokpe. I live in California and I work in the healthcare. I'm just here basically to learn more about real estate, hopefully to start something on the side in real estate. So thanks for having me, D1 and everybody.
All right, you're welcome. Let me see. David, I know. Then we'll do 2 more and we can move forward because of time.
Hey, hi everyone. My name is David Aina. I live in Alberta, Canada. I'm an electrical engineer. I hope I can learn a little bit more about real estate here today. And thanks for inviting me, everyone.
You're welcome. David, again, Akeredolu. I have to call you Kunle.
Okay. So my name is Kunle David Akeredolu. I'm an engineer by training. Presently I'm an RF test engineer with one of the firms in Ottawa. I live in Canada as well. I have, just to kind of find out, how to get started, kind of break the myth regarding, getting started with housing. Yeah.
All right, thank you. Toby Elujoba, are you there? I see you bouncing on different screens. So I wanted to make sure. Are you there, Toby? All right, if Toby is not there, let's get the last person, Dablu, so we can move forward.
Hey, yeah, I'm here. Hey, how's everybody doing? Hey, this is Akinola Akindele. The reason why you see W on the screen is I'm a diehard Chelsea fan. I defend this country, which means I'm active duty military. I'm based in Virginia right now. Tomorrow I could be based in anywhere, but I'm glad to be here. My friend Dio invited me, and I'm ready. Let's get it.
All right, thank you very much. Like I said, we have like 60 people, so we can't go through everybody. But like as you can see, your network is your network. If we continue like this, you will get to see that we have people coming from Canada, from Nigeria, different part of the world, and all of us can get to know each other better and learn. So maybe we can get to connect more. All right, so moving forward, why real estate? I'm going to tell you my own real estate journey. I was having this conversation with a friend, Sugar. Hello, can you hear me? All right, cool.
Yes, I can. I'm sorry. I just have a question, please. Is this meeting being recorded?
Yes, it's being recorded.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so why real estate? I was talking to Shoga a few days ago, and we were talking about stock, real estate, and diversifying and all that, and I felt like it was good. I'm pretty sure Sandra and maybe Rod, they will be able to do more justice to this topic precisely compared to me. So I will tell you why I chose real estate personally. But when you read about real estate a lot, these are the few things that comes to mind. Obviously we all know cash. You can put your money in the bank and you get all these advantages. The first thing that actually caught my interest when it comes to real estate was the tax advantage, to be honest. I'm that guy that I don't hate on rich people because anyways, they don't pay tax and they know how to work the system to make sure that it works for them because those laws are there. They are not breaking the law. The rich don't pay taxes just because they hire people, they make use of the tax advantages and they do the right thing. So I felt, this is great. So real estate gives you that opportunity to, not that you won't pay tax, don't get me wrong, in real estate, you pay tax, but there's a way real estate works for you that you can have those tax advantages like 1099. When you go to real estate meetings, when you go for, you can travel for meetings, all these things are a lot of tax write-off, even your gas, your home office. There's so many things that, real estate does for you as a tax advantage. Now, real estate is a good hard asset. It's something you can see. Do you get it? Now, I'm not comparing it to stock. Now, as a matter of fact, I've been reading a lot about real estate versus stock. Over the last 150 years, stock has outperformed real estate. But the good thing is that none of us wants to live to 150. So I don't think we are going to start that analysis or that fight. So, but in a section of time, where you are alive, the advantages that real estate can give you, it's what I'm trying to talk about. It's an hard asset. You can touch it. You can leverage it. And what I mean by leverage, like I said, I'll talk about my own journey. But when I say leverage is, you can drop $6,000 and buy a house of $200,000. That is leverage, and you start paying it slowly. Do you get it? So then your equity builds up. Let's assume you buy a property, you're renting it. Somebody is paying the mortgage down for you while your own equity is growing. Do you get it? Then also you can get cash flow. If you have a property that you're renting, somebody is paying the mortgage and you are also getting maybe $10, $20, $50 extra a month. That is good. That is extra money coming in your pocket without you doing much. Now, don't get me wrong, you work in real estate to earn the money. But once you automate and you get the job done, real estate actually gives you, good cash yield every month, every time, even while you are sleeping. Do you get it? Then, you can claim depreciation, which is part of the tax advantages. The cash flow was just what I just mentioned. Appreciation. Properties appreciate a lot. Now, I'll tell you a property that appreciated very well and why we actually decided to go into real estate. Now, some of you know this property, I'm pretty sure. People that know me in Texas, they know this property. This is our real estate journey. Now, I thought I should share this with you. I was talking about cash flow, appreciation. I'll put everything into one. Like I said, if you have questions, please write them down. I won't be able to answer everything. I have pros that are here. So what started our real estate journey? It was very simple. Even though we bought the property in 2012, which is right there. In 2016, I lost my job. I was working with Microsoft then, and I lost that job. And for 6 months, I was without a job. Man, that was probably my lowest time in life. So for 6 months, I wasn't working. I would take a lot of work. I would cry. I would pray. I would think about what I can do. Then immediately I got the Facebook job. Me and my wife, my wife was working at Fha as a cash teller back then, so she just started working. And we were like, we can't continue to depend on this single income. If you are working in Microsoft, you're a big boy, the money was flowing, we did not think far away. So anyways, we started investing. Now, what do we invest? We invested in 5 different businesses. I don't want to mention them, but out of those 5 different businesses, we were like passive investors in those businesses. Out of those 5 businesses, one is doing very great. One is up and coming, a lot of prospects. One is almost on a flat line. 2 are already dead. So between 2016 and 2019, we invested in those 5 companies, and that is the result. So I got transferred from Oregon to Georgia, and I've been talking, real estate, everybody talks about, I want to do real estate, I want to do real estate, I want to do real estate. I was part of that people, I want to do real estate too, but I never got to it. So 2019, immediately I transferred to Georgia. I've been interested in real estate. Then I met Prashan. So Prashan told me, oh, we got talking after work. Prashan is one of our speakers. And he was like, hey, do you know about Bigger Pockets? I'm like, nah, I don't know what it is. Then he told me offhandedly, man, Bigger Pocket changed my life. Like it changed my life for real, for real. So, if there's anything I miss so much during this COVID is driving to work. You'll be surprised. Every time I'm driving to work, I'm so excited. It's a 45-minute drive because that is how I listen to my podcast. I love to read. Like I was so dedicated to Bigger Pocket to the point that when I hear a very, very good point, I'll park by the side of the road. I'll pull up my phone. I'll make that note, then I'll continue driving because I'm going to do extra research on that note. But anyways, 2019, we started doing all the normal things that a business would do to feel like you are doing business. Like this cool t-shirt. We have a website. We opened LLC. We're not doing the real estate, but we are trying to do the real estate. So 2019 went by and we finally settled, okay, I was reading a lot. When I said a lot, I mean, I was reading a lot. So I was reading a lot of real estate. I was listening to podcasts. I was doing webinars. In fact, that was how I met Rod. They said you need to have a real estate mentor. I signed up for Georgia area. And that is why I said that Michael Jordan thing. It's a price. You have to pay the price. The price was my time. If I come back from work, then I have to quickly say, hey, babe, okay, I'm off to Georgia area. So after work, I go straight to Georgia area. Well, when I joined Georgia area, I think I did 1 or 2, then COVID started. So I didn't really get to bond with Rod very well, but it's been very great to me. So anyways, that was my real estate journey. That was how my wife and I got into real estate. Then it now occurred to us that we have a property that we can start with. We bought this property right after we got married that you're looking at on the screen in 2012. We bought it for $186,000. It was somewhere in the bush in Littlehem then. It wasn't popular then. That place is like gold now. So we bought it then. We used FHA loan. Somebody will explain all these little terms I'm talking about. We used FHA loan. It was 3.5% down. So technically, we paid $6,500 to get a house of $186,000. In 2016, when we moved to Microsoft, we started renting the property. We've been renting the property since then. And right now, that property is worth $303,000. And if I'm being honest with you, I think I've only been called maybe 2 or 3 times for any maintenance issue because it was a new home. So it wasn't having too many problems. So just look at that. In 2012, $186,000. In 2020, when we refinanced it, it was $303,000. So during 2012 to 2020, I'm using 2020 because that was what we did then. We paid the loan down to $150. Either we paid it or the tenant was paying it. It was reducing in value. It was reducing in the mortgage. It was paid down to $150. At that time, we've had enough knowledge, so we did a cash out refinance. When we did a cash out refinance, we got $45,000 cash. You know what it feels like? You have your property, you have $45,000. The tenant is still paying the mortgage. I'm still getting my monthly cash flow. So it was like I was winning on every side. When you have $45,000 with you, you're like, let me go and buy that new car. A lot of things start coming to your head. But anyways, we really want to do the real estate thing. So what did we do? We bought a duplex in Macon, Georgia for $55,000 cash. It wasn't a good idea. Don't mind me. I was a rookie then. It was our first real estate. So we bought it cash. We didn't know much. If I have to do it again, I won't buy it cash. But it was good. Right now, because it's cash, we don't pay any bank. That mortgage, that property gives us $1,000 a month. So even without lifting a finger, I get $1,000 extra a month right now because we bought that property. The property in Texas is still there. It's just that we did a cash out refi. The tenants are still paying. So from that time to this time, my wife and I, we've improved our process. Now we currently have 15 units in Macon, Georgia, 7 duplexes and 1 single family you are looking at. 6 of those units have tenants currently, and 9 of them are under renovation. So if you know me very well now, if you're my very good friend, I'm pretty sure there's no way we talk for 1 hour. I don't bring up real estate. It's like a bug. So this is our real estate journey. Prashant will share more. Sandra will talk more. Sandra has been instrumental to buying some of these properties. Rod has been probably the most influential because without Rod's calculator, we probably wouldn't even do anything at first. It really helped us to take that first jump. So our agenda, finally, real estate fundamentals. Isn't that sweet? Dio loves to talk. I'm not going to say too much. Real estate fundamentals. I want us to talk about a few things. Type of real estate investment, real estate education. I think the education part is probably the most important part to me because that is how you're going to know what to do. Then, what properties do you want to invest in? And how do you find these properties? How do you finance it? That's what we'll be talking about. All right, type of real estate investment. Most times when you hear real estate, it's very confusing sometimes. Except you start studying, listening to podcasts, going to Georgia area, have a good realtor. There's so many parts of real estate that you have to, learn before you actually know what you want to do. But basically, for residential versus commercial, most people will start at residential. Obviously, it's cheaper. Commercial is all those big buildings. So residential properties, they are the living quarters, like the townhomes. Most of us have single family. Most of us are renting apartments. So if you're renting an apartment, if you have your own single family, if you have your own land that you want to build on, those are all residential properties. Now, there are type of residential properties. We'll go into details. Commercial properties refer to properties for business activities. Commercial properties is anything with 5 or more units. Now, let me come back and rephrase my statement. When you have a duplex, that's 2 units, it's called residential. When you have 4 units, they call it 4 units or quadplex, it's still termed residential. When you start having 5 units, when you start having 5 units or more, all those big apartments that you see, those are what they call commercial properties, along with other things. So type of
why you said they listen to us?
Type of residential properties. The single family, the one I talked about, they call it SFR mostly. Most of us, we live in all these nice neighborhoods and all that. That is the single family, the 4x2, the 3x1, the 5x3. Then you have the duplex, which is what my wife and I are mostly involved in now, and the triplex, when you have 3 units. Then the fourplex, I wish I could show you pictures, but I don't want to go too deep and changing screens. When you have townhomes, townhouse, detached house, condos, all those ones are called residential properties. And that is a good way to start your real estate journey. Now, commercial properties, large multifamily housing, like 5 units. When you start having 5 units or more, those are called commercial properties. Now, it is the banking that, to my understanding, the banking separates this understanding and how it is financed and the way things are done. So once you want to do 4 units, they will tell you, you as a person, you can get a loan. Once it's 5 or more, then it becomes a different kind of loan. I think Rod will explain better there. If you have a retail space, when I came to the US and I see all these storage units, I'm like, who puts stuff in storage units? Why are they doing storage? Oh my God, that is a very big business, like a very, very profitable business. Storage units is selling. It's a good business. Industrial buildings, when you go to the mall, those are shopping centers, all those vacant lands where you buy, when you drive through, those are great commercial properties that you can invest in. So real estate education, I think is the one I like the most. Like I said, real estate education was, I think from 2019, when Prashan told me about bigger pockets around January or February, up till today, I think I listened to almost every Bigger Pocket podcast. Rod told me about Coach Carson. It's also great. Now, there's so many podcasts, videos, YouTube out there. You can choose what you want. Bigger Pocket has just worked for me. So I'm not, I'm recommending it, but I'm not like, push, you can do whatever you want. Now, I do biggerpocket.com. I go there a lot. I do all my educations. I listen to my podcast when I'm driving. I used to be that guy, like when I'm driving, I'm always listening to, 9 a.m. top 20, top 50 at 5 o'clock. Oh my God. If you enter my car now, it's boring. It's always real estate. It is only when I'm feeling like I'm tired and I'm feeling dizzy a little bit, maybe I'll play some music, do some Olamide to spice up. But once my energy is back up, I'm back to that real estate podcast. Like you probably, I've listened so much that don't even let me go there. Now, real estate books, it's important to invest in what you feel it's important to you. When I started the real estate journey, I started with Rich Dad Poor Dad. Everybody knows that. And, it was like a rabbit hole. And I kept going how to invest in real estate, the book on tax strategy, managing rental properties, the book on rental property investing. I just finished this one today, raising private capital using other people's money. Rod, who is my mentor, he recommended this to me at the end of last year. Profit First, that's my next book. So when I tell you I'm into real estate, believe you me, I'm into real estate. And these are just the ones that I've read that I'm about to read. I still have like 5 or 10 that I'm supposed to read this year. So if you want to know how I spend my time now, I don't even watch NBA anymore. I used to be an NBA freak. So now this is what I do. This is what I do every night. I just read real estate books. So it's important for me because that is how I was able to get the education and eventually take the first jump. Now, I talked about Real Estate Investment Association. There's nowhere you have, let me rephrase that, just in America at least, as far as I don't know about Nigeria, I don't know about Canada, but in America, there's always a Real Estate Investment Association in your area. It's very cheap to join, it's maybe $150 or something. So you might feel it's a big money, but the work, the education, as far as I'm concerned, the first day I went there, I met Rod. They always tell you like you have to do something to meet a mentor and get to know them better. Luckily, me, I'm a very sharp guy. I met Rod the first day, we connected, he gave me his phone number. I really appreciate it. We've been working fast. Rod did a full Zoom section with me and my wife one time just to help us get started. We cannot thank him enough. So, I met a mentor that was interested in my growth. And this is the mentor I don't pay. I don't pay Rod. Rod just likes me, I guess. Right? Rod, do you like me? Thank you. All right. So I met George. I met Rod at Georgia area. It's very important. I went to Georgia area due to COVID. Most of the things have been on Zoom. I've been attending when I can. So real estate education is important if you want to get started, because that's how you will know what you want to do and the type of real estate you want to jump in. All right. Before I go, I should stand up 1 second too early. Real estate property classes. Now, this is very important too. Now, when you are into real estate, what kind of real estate are you investing in? There's this, it's not a written law. It's not like people just started grouping this into different property classes, type A, type B, type C, and all that. Now, let me give an example of a type A. When I was coming to the US, when you're just coming to the US and you're full of life and you're like, I was a grad student, you're going to rock this thing. Those apartment complexes that they will show those fine girls jumping into the swimming pool. Those properties are always nice, closer to the school. Like you pay all bills paid. That was what my eyes was on. And I was like, I was going to jump in. I was going to enjoy my time in abroad, live in Denton. See, when I got to those properties and I heard that you'd be paying $600 per month, I went back to Craigslist to look for apartments. You won't believe it. I ended up in a class C already, where my dream was a class A. A class A property is where everything is cool. It's closer to restaurants, it's expensive, great schools. People are high income. If you notice where you are in school, people that live in all those lovely apartments that they do all those free, first month rent is free. Trust me, those are the best locations for apartments. If you are a high income earner, if you live in downtown, you're living closer to all these railway, good foods, those are class A properties. So those properties, they are good. You will have tenants that won't give you hell. They are great properties. They have the highest rent, but the problem is they are more expensive to purchase, and the cash flow is lower. Even though the rent is high, it's expensive to buy them, but the cash flow is very low. Class B properties, like probably the one you will see mostly. It's slightly older. You still have decent restaurants. It's maybe 10, 20 years. The maintenance is not that much. Places like where Kemi lived while he was in Texas A&M, Kemi, right? So those are class B properties, sincerely. And those are like the best real estate sometimes because, you can easily renovate. You have a solid foundation for you to build, and it's cash flowing. Most of us that live in single family homes, that we want our children to go to the best schools, 9/10, 10/8/10, those are class A properties. If you are living close to a school that is 8/10, 7/10, you are living in the Class A area. Now, Class C, let me tell you about Class C because I'm a Class C investor. Class C investor is where they text you at 11 p.m. that my sink is not working. And so some of you saw like, how did you buy a property of 55,000? It's because it's a Class C property. So don't mind us. So my wife and I were just getting started. We are learning. We are still into Class C properties right now. These are homes that are older, like 30 years or more. I think our newest property, let me see, the oldest, no, I think we have a property that was built in 1953. It's brick, it looks good. So it's not like they call me every day. But we felt like it's a good place for us to get started. We are learning the rope, it's a good entrance for us. A lot of things are outdated. You'll be hearing about, ball, where you have to fix things and, do fixer-upper. So when you see all those fixer-uppers that you watch on TV, most of them are either Class B or Class C. So Class C requires more maintenance. The tenants are the ones that, they are always trouble, this, that. They are not closer to all the fancy things. So that is a Class C property. And that is where we are investing right now. For now, we're going to be there until, our business grows. So if you want to know more about Class C, reach out to me. If you want to know more about Class A or B, I'm sure you can. Sandra, Prashant, Rod, they live in those areas. So they are investors in Class A and Class B. So I think that is it for me. Like I said, these topics are a good 1 hour topic by itself. So I'm just rushing things up because I didn't intend that we're going to have a large class like this. Anyways, let me introduce you to Sandra. Sandra will be talking about how to find great real estate deals. I'm taking it from down up. Sometimes when we see real estate agents, we always feel like, I want a great real estate agent. There is a big difference between an agent and a broker. An agent is the worker. A broker is the boss. A broker is the one that hires an agent. So when you are looking for an agent, it's great, but an agent reports to a broker. So Sandra is an agent to the broker. She has her own thing going. And she is the boss of Open Doors Realty LLC. Now, remember when I said your network is your network? I met Sandra through Wale, me and my wife, when we were buying our property, our home here in Georgia. Sandra, we worked together, it was great. Then we metamorphosized into friends. And now, we do business together. All the properties that we are trying to acquire or we've acquired, Sandra has been, at the forefront. Now, I don't know if I'm marketing Sandra anyway, but I have worked with a bad realtor. So they call real estate agent realtor. That is why I appreciate Sandra, because when you have worked with a bad one, it's easy for you to know a great one. So Sandra is a great realtor. If you ever think of investing in Georgia, that's why I put his phone number. That's why I put our phone number and our Instagram account. Sandra, if your Instagram has increased by 50,000, you have to pay me because I'm doing a great job. Anyways, Sandra, I'll give it over to you. How to find a great real estate deal. Take your time, explain to people. It's very important people know about this topic. And also let people ask you questions so that we can take more time to learn more about it. Thank you. I'll take a break.
All right, Dayo, thank you so much. And welcome again to everybody. Dayo, Yemisi, thank you for having me on. I hope I can do justice to what Dayo has thrown into my lap to do. He just said, this is the topic and you're going to talk about it. That's it. I said, okay, boss. So here's where we are. I don't know, again, because of the brevity of time, he did say 10 minutes. He told me 10 minutes. So because of brevity of time, he's right in saying that each one of these topics can take a long time to discuss. So I don't know if any one of you are already, well, apart from Prashant and Rod, I don't know if any one of you are already investing in real estate, or if everybody's a newbie, like have never done any deals or anything like that. So if you have never done any deals, can you just wave or just do a chat reaction so I just know, so I can have an idea of who my audience is? Okay. All right. Okay. So, and then some people are off the screen, so I can't. Well, just put it in the chat. Like if you're a newbie, just say newbie. If you've done one, just say one. or if you've done a lot, just say a lot so that I just kind of know. It helps so that we're not throwing terms, we're not using acronyms and stuff that you may not be familiar with. And I think Dio's intent is for this information to be, assimilated and understood. You're not in a conference paying thousands of dollars and then you're throwing out all these new terms at you and you have no idea what are you talking about and stuff like that. So just to make sure that we're catering to everybody and that information is useful. Okay, number of people say they're newbies. Okay, cool. Now, any of you international, like any of you, I heard some people from Alberta and Ottawa, so Canada. Is anybody where? I'm sorry.
Canada?
Canada, yes. Okay,
Yep.
so I heard two people in Canada. Is anybody else out of another country apart from the US and Canada? Just indicate that in the chat as well, so we know so we know exactly who our audience is. So let me jump right in here. How to find great real estate deals. This is such it's such a broad topic. I'll be very honest with you. Let me go with the slide that Dio has here, and then permit me to kind of speak just from experience or knowledge gained over the years. Like Dio had us introduce ourselves before. My initial background is oil and gas. I was a production technologist for Shell. So that's my background. My major was industrial chemistry with a minor in information systems, computer information systems. And I got into, that was my line of work until I got into real estate. I got into real estate because I was starting a family. So real estate was going to allow me more flexibility to spend time with my son, et cetera, et cetera. So fast forward from then till now, like Dio said, I became an agent, a real estate agent. And after sometime around when the market crashed, the first bubble, a lot of my clientele became investors. Now, I do your traditional buying and selling, representing first-time home buyers, move-up buyers, sellers, purely residential is my forte. For commercial, I have one or two partners, but for residential, that's my forte. And I continued in that line. When the market bubble happened, a lot of my clientele became investors. These were people that had access to cash. A lot of them had access to cash and they wanted to put it down in real estate. And so that grew, that aspect of my business grew. And from there, they insisted that if they were to buy property, I had to manage the property. At that time, I was not an agent, and not every broker wants to manage real estate because it's a very tasking aspect of real estate. Property management is very, very tasking. But that was the deal. It was a package deal. If you're going to buy this property, Sandra, for me, you have to manage it. I don't want to deal with anybody else. So that aspect of my business was born. And here we are now. My firm, my company handles about, and it's a boutique real estate company. So it's not a lot of us, but that was on purpose. That was intentional. I wanted to start my brand. And we manage private investors, single people, single individuals like Dio. It could be a husband, it could be husband and wife, it could be just an individual, and so we're doing a bit under $6 million as far as property management in value. I still carry out my normal real estate representation, which is the buying and the selling. That's always the foundation. Now, he says find a realtor that's vast in real estate investment. So sometimes like he said, and he's marketing me, and I appreciate that. And I hope I'm worth my weight in his marketing spill. But it's sometimes you have word of mouth or like a referral, other investors that have used real estate. I'll tell you that what I hear, some investors, seasoned investors, sometimes feel like some real estate agents don't understand what they're trying to do, and they don't know how to work the numbers. So if you know, when a seasoned investor says that they want to partner with somebody that understands what they're trying to accomplish, it's not a regular home buyer, it's not a retail buyer. So you have retail buyers, meaning I just want a house I'm going to live in, or I'm a first-time home buyer and things like that. The mindset is different. When you're an investor, your mindset is different. You are out to make a profit, and you probably have a return on investment, a number that you're thinking about. So you want someone that is able to think alongside you, is able to see some pitfalls and run some numbers for you, or can discuss the numbers you've shared, so that when we're looking for deals, or when that person is looking for deals, you guys can be on the same page. That will eliminate frustration on your part as an investor. So either you're finding them through referrals, through asking questions, things like that. He says have access to MLS. So MLS means multiple listing service. Again, I want to break down acronyms as much as I see them because a number of you are newbies or new to investing. So MLS is called multiple listing service, and it's basically a database that almost every state has as far as the real estate agents and brokerages and firms. We subscribe and we are members of this multiple listing service, and it's via membership. And what happens is when we're dealing with clients like sellers, we input their homes. We call them listings, and we input that into the MLS system so that we can co-op and we can see what's for sale and who has a property out and the terms, and we can make offers off of that. So yes, real estate agents have access to MLS, but you also have off-record deals. I'm sorry, let me just minimize my screen so I could see the notes here. So we have off-record deals. And I think what that means by off-record is off-market, basically, is what that is. So with the off-market deals, you're not seeing them listed online where everybody can look at them. Right now, we have issues with low inventory. We don't have a lot of inventory in Atlanta. So if you're doing your own marketing as an investor, meaning you're not waiting for these properties to hit the market, meaning visibility, but you have people that are either door knocking, that going to neighborhoods, canvassing neighborhoods, or they have like a mailing list that they work off. They're trying to find sellers. They're trying to find sellers in situations that maybe are about to face foreclosure. Maybe it's an estate, meaning somebody has died and the house is in probate or is in the estate, is in the court system. They're trying to figure those things out. You rarely are going to see those things being published online. You have to have access to those kind of lists. So those are kind of like an example of an off-market deal. So part of your, it'll definitely benefit you if you as an investor, if you're not shopping around trying to find where can I get these deals, then your real estate agent, if they have access to those, you can benefit. One huge benefit is that you're not going to have a lot of people or fellow investors competing for that deal. So you can service that seller. As you have people that say the owner died and now the house is in the court, right? They're trying to figure out ownership and stuff like that. Imagine you having full access to that seller or to that family. So you're in their face, you're communicating with them. When they're ready to sell, when the court has released that property, you're not going to be competing with 200 people trying to look for the same house. And you can really have ownership over that deal. And so I think that leads to the next point on the slide. Connections they have built over time helped you find deals. And that is true because as if you've been doing this for a while, you're gonna know somebody's gonna say, hey, I have this property for sale. Do you have a buyer? And then, so if it happens to me, I could push it out to my group of investors and say, hey, I just came across the deal. Are you guys interested? Here are the terms. Wholesaler. So that's another real estate term. So let's see if we can try to break that down. And I know Rod has a lot of information about that as well, being that he's not just Georgia RIA, but he is in a subgroup. So he can explain more about how those work. It's a particular niche within Georgia RIA Association. But wholesalers are kind of like your in-between guys. So they will go, they do have their list, and marketing to people that want to sell. Again, this is off market. They're marketing to people that want to sell. They get some warm leads and some sellers that are like, yeah, I want a deal. And then the wholesaler markets to people that want to buy. So he's in the middle or she's in the middle and they have their hands on both sides. They're not interested in picking up this property. They just want to connect the seller to the buyer. And so that's a wholesaler. And then they make the profit in the pricing right there. Zillow, Redfin, or Realtor.com. Okay, I'll be honest with you. I don't really care too much about Zillow. And I'm just going to say that and continue my presentation, okay? I don't care about Zillow, but I care about other things. So I'll tell you, it's going to be, I don't want to sound political or whatever, but and it's not even politics. It's Zillow. And I have a few issues with Zillow, which is another conversation for another day. But let's just stick to the fact that, let's stick to the and more, the point and more. So I would say you have access to off-market deals. You have access to a great real estate agent, to fellow investors if you have like a circle. Like, and this is such a great thing that Dio is doing because you have that. What I do want to spend a little bit more time on is, let me just go back here to my notes. What I want to spend a little bit of time on is in evaluating those deals. So what makes a deal a great real estate deal? I will tell you that you have to look at your numbers. Everybody has a different budget. Everybody has a different price in mind. You know, I would say about 3 years ago, you could, 3-4 years ago, you know, you could see, and you still see some $60,000 deals, don't get me wrong, in the Metro Atlanta area. So 3-4 years ago, you would have a lot of those, even 4 or 5 years ago. In 2021, where you're seeing those $60,000 deals are in some places that you really, really have to like have your hat on and say, do I really want to go into this area or not? What Dio did is he had his numbers and then location. So they always tell you location, location, location. As an investor, again, you have to be thinking of your numbers, like what is profitability? What does profitability look like to you? So you have to run your return on investment. So basically, if you're going to use, which I think is on the next slide, like your spreadsheet and stuff like that, you've got to either build one, which is basically identifying all the costs that are going to be a part of your purchase, whether it's the taxes, whether it's the HOA dues. Is this property in a community that has a homeowners association? You know, what is your maintenance? Are you going to have a vacancy? So are you going to allow room for, like, say, 1 month vacancy, because that feeds into your return on investment and things like that. So I would say in finding those great real estate deals, we have to ask ourselves, what makes a deal a great real estate deal? Figure out your numbers, figure out the location that allows you to make those numbers a reality. And for the sake of this conversation, this is really a buy and hold strategy, meaning we're not talking about rehabs. We're not talking about, the more popular term is a flip. We're not talking about those. I think what we're trying to zoom in on, or at least for my part of the presentation, I'm zooming in on buying and holding, meaning you're buying this property, your intent is to put a tenant in this property, pay either the mortgage if you have a loan, or pay you the rent if you bought it cash, and you're going to hold this property, and at some time down the line, you're going to dispose of the property. The idea is that you're going to make positive cash flow each month, and then when it's time to sell, that property would have appreciated so that you realize the profit on top of that. So to find a property that fits into that scope is really an analysis on the numbers. So we can go to different locations from now to tomorrow, but we have to know, at least if I'm working with you, I need to know your numbers. I'm going to have to say, what numbers do we have to work with? And how do we get from where we are to what your final end goal is? Okay, Dio, I think I have another slide, or
no. So I I took away the analyzing a deal because that would be a lot of topic, and I don't want to condense too many stuff. So I'm like, if we have more interest, we can do it another time if possible. Great. So that's why I took it away. But you can entertain questions. I'm sure people will have questions for you.
So I would say thank you for clarifying that. So I would say that's it. I think they go hand in hand, analyzing of the deals, because everybody says, I want a great deal. I want a great house. Just find me a deal. We always have to analyze what makes a deal a great deal. Okay, so I'll stop it at that point.
All right, thank you, Sandra. Before we ask Sandra questions, so analyzing a deal is also what makes it a great deal. I was talking about the Excel sheet Rod gave to me. Sonia has her own sheet that we use to compare. I've tried with bigger pocket calculator. All those things are there. So I felt like it would be too much condensing everything into one presentation today. So please, any question for Sandra before we go? So that I would like to make sure that any question for Sandra? If you have a question, please unmute, ask her for some questions before we go to the next slide.
Hey, Sandra, it's David here. I'm sure I did hear you that you said you do international as well, right?
Yes, so I deal with not just your local buyers that are based in the US or Canada, but foreigners. So I have a number of clients in the Middle East. I have some in Thailand, Australia, Europe. I think the only continent I don't have any clients yet is South America, but I have in the Caribbean, but nobody yet in South America. So I'm versed in their needs. Their needs are very particular. Paperwork is a little different. Taxes are a little different, things like that. So yes, but to answer your question, yes, sir.
Reach out.
All right, yeah, I put Sandra's contact there. But Sandra, I'm surprised you have clients in the Middle East too. Interesting.
Do you have clients?
I remember I was in oil and gas. So I'm sorry, somebody's asking a question.
You have clients in Nigeria? Is it
yes, I do.
Wow, that's fine.
Let me find out. Good to hear your voice.
Any questions?
Any more questions?
Sorry, what?
Yeah, sorry, I have a question.
I have to ask a question. So what about the environment? It's Nigeria, for example, taking Nigeria as an example. Is it the same concept all through, or what's the difference? What's the experience like in Nigeria?
So the fact that you're in Nigeria, in a different country, it's just your location. You just don't happen to be here. So a lot of the legwork, like when Dio and I were working together, I mean, he's there because he's physically in Georgia. He can do some of the running around. He can analyze the properties and things like that, or look at them. You don't have that benefit or task, should I say, because you're not here. So a lot of that responsibility falls on us. So a number of our clients, like I said, when I shared my little spiel on the people that I serve, like my investors who are foreigners, none of them were here. None of them came to look. We utilize technology, we show them the properties and things like that. One thing we were all on the same page about was the numbers. If that property fit the numbers, it was a deal. So we the pre-work was identifying the specs. The house has to be at this price, and when we look at the repairs or things like that, and the rent, et cetera, et cetera. So they didn't have to be here to do any of that. That was all conversations, emails, things like that. And if I found a house that fit that script, they bought it. It wasn't they didn't physically have to be here. So that's how that part worked for the buying aspect. Yeah.
All right. I have a question, Sandra. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, awesome. So do you have any good recommendation for any tool that we can use for trend analysis, as far as demographic influx, outflux, job, things like that you use that I could use as well?
So sometimes, I mean, your census, the US government, houses that data or that information when they do the census report. So you would have to drill down maybe into certain areas that you're looking at. It can get very overwhelming and very vast. Sometimes the local newspaper content as well for that area that you're thinking about will have some information, some market reports. Like on our end as a real estate agent, we can give you, what we do is we provide a market analysis, and we drill down to the subdivision that you're looking at or the area that you're looking at, so that you have an idea of, okay, this is what home sold for, and you benchmark that against the offer that you're making or the homes that you're thinking about buying. And you can say, well, this person has put this seller has put their house on the market for 100,000 or 50,000, but home sold for 30,000. So what's the deal there? But I'll tell you, in our current market, it's a seller's market, and sellers are the kings today. So I'm saying that to say you do have to put some kind of realistic hat on in doing the assessment. In times past, when it was a buyer's market, buyers were king. So the seller would be begging you to make an offer. Right now, sellers are not begging you to make any offer. It's like, you don't want it? Okay, I've got 10 other people who want it. So I'm not going to lose anything. So kind of keep that in mind right now. But I'd say the first couple of resources I shared with you could be one, medium that you can explore in terms of data for the particular place. But on our end, we'll give you like a comparative market analysis. We call them CMAs for short.
All right.
Sandra, I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. I live in Jersey. I live in New Jersey, right? The market is really so competitive where I am right now. Like my first property took me like 9 months before I was able to secure the first property. And I have to talk to the realtor and says to the seller, because we're from the same place. I said, okay, I'll add more to what you're asking for. Because at that point in time, I almost got frustrated about the market. I said, I'm not even going to buy anything anymore. I'm going to just rent. And right now, I've been in the market for the past 5 months trying to look for a property, and I've not even been able to get anything. They have stuff listed off for like 390. We put like extra 50 grand on it, and they said they went with the highest offer. At this point, I just came back from looking at property, but at the end of the day, it basically looks like a probably waste of time. All my weekends are always gone on this trying to look for properties and things like that. So my question is this: this week on Wednesday, I came across a realtor that actually have some properties not listed on Zillow, and that was why I was able to align it with what you were saying about properties not on Zillow yet. Even despite that, they said they still went with the highest offer, even putting some things like 50 grand more to it. So do you have any link in Jersey about realtors that have access to the off market properties and things like that? Because I talked to Dai about it. He was like, stop doing this, stop doing that. It's really, he was like, I said, why are you going in that direction and things like that? Why are you putting this amount down and this and this and that? So basically, I was thinking probably because I don't have access to people who actually knows about the off market, the realtors that doesn't know about the off market properties and things like that. Do you have any connections in Jersey and in the Essex County of Jersey?
In the Essex County, not just Jersey, Dio, but the Essex. I'm sorry, who am I speaking to? Who's the one talking? I didn't see the.
Let him introduce himself.
I am Biodun. My name is Biodun Lawal.
Biodun. Okay, so Biodun. First of all, some people now are in what we call tired.com. They're tired, right? It's the overbidding is serious, and people are getting frustrated making offers. I would say to you, I apologize that you're frustrated. That's just the name of the game. But Dio can tell you of his frustrations. And last year, he can tell you of how many offers we're making. And sometimes he's like, Sandra, I'm done. And I'm like, no, you're not done, because we are on a journey. So you can't just quit now. But I would say to you, if you're serious about being an investor, you are now going to have to take this into your hands and come up with your own marketing and not wait for properties to hit the market. You now have to source your own off-market deals. So either you do probate, either you go to the courthouse and start digging up stuff there, or you create your own mailers, narrow in on the subdivision that you're liking or the area that you feel, hey, this is where I want to buy and hold. Or if you're doing a flip, I don't know, this is where I want to buy, rehab, and flip. Start creating your own marketing mailers and looking for the sellers yourself. That way, you're not competing with everybody else. You're targeting what you want to do, and they're going to work directly with you. Is one suggestion. If I think I have somebody in New Jersey, I have to check with him and see if that's along his line of work. Which is funny. I hardly do anything in Jersey, but I will check with him, and if he's who if he's what you want him to be, like if he can help you, I'll let you know. Okay.
I would so much appreciate that, Sandra. I will appreciate that.
All right, thank you, Lala. You asked a personal question. You should have called me. See already. Anyways, sorry. In the interest of time, we have to move forward. I know, Dr. Akinro, you said you have questions. We would not be able to answer all the questions. I decided to put Sandra's profile up again. Reach out to Sandra, join him on Instagram. You can tell him from that Jegede. So Sandra will attend to you, even if you don't mention my name. That's Sandra's business. She's always available to help. Sandra helped us when we started doing business together. So, in the interest of time, I'm going to move forward with Rod. Rod Joseph is my, shall I call it official or unofficial? He's my real estate mentor. I really enjoy working with him. He has been so wonderful to me and my wife. I talked about Prashan a lot. I've talked about Sandra. Rod actually also made us take that jump. Sandra was talking about, knowing the numbers. There's something important about analyzing a deal. If you don't analyze a deal, you don't know if you are going to buy it or not. So when Rod agreed to meet with me, we had a lunch, And you know, we then he helped us with the Zoom call, explaining how the calculator works. It was very important, and you know, it took special interest in us. I also make sure I give him updates. If I recommended this book to me, which is my next book to read. So Rod is he used to be an IT guy. He's going to talk about, you know, his background. He's going to talk about how COVID has affected him and how it has helped him improve. It's another different topic entirely. I can see Rod's wife is she's smiling. I see you, man. Thanks for giving him time to speak to us. Really appreciate it. So he also has a unique experience. He used to be a real estate agent. He used to be a loan officer. So he knows how to get the money out. He knows how to use the money. Now he uses the money to do the business. So, and when you lead a subgroup of Georgia area, that means you are vast in you know, what you're doing. So Rod, talk to us about financing a real estate deal, which is one aspect of what you know. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, so my name is Rod, and he was giving me too much props. It's way too much. But yeah, I have right now we started back in 2006, and we grew our portfolio. We currently have 23 doors that we own and manage. And we've used just about everything you can do to finance a property or to acquire a property. We've used that method. We've used almost every method out there. So yeah, I was in IT working a 9 to 5, and just my goal was to get out of 9 to 5. Okay. I think most of us, I don't know if that's why you're interested in real estate, is really to have that freedom of time, right? And that's what I found real estate was the only way to do that, and the only legal way to do that. And so that's what we kind of pointed in that direction, and you know, when my wife and I got married, we said we're going to buy one property a year. That was our goal, to buy one property a year. And we continued on that path, and we kind of got sidetracked a little due to, you know, we got sidetracked with other businesses. We used to own you know, we tried a hair salon at one point, but it's just, we just realized that, hey, you know, real estate the hair salon was just too much work. Real estate was like the thing that you can make money in your sleep, like as Dale said before. And it was just something that, it's like a path that's already been taken. A lot of millionaires, they've already done that work before you. They've already gone down that path. All you have to do is just reproduce whatever they've already done. You're not creating a new business. Okay. All you have to do is put in the time and the effort, and you'll get it done. But yeah, financing a deal, we've done FHA loans. Our first few properties, one, we did FHA loan on it. FHA, of course, you're gonna put 3% down, and you can finance just 3% down, and you can own you could own a property. You do have to move into that property. You have to be a owner occupied, I believe. For me, that was the case. The other types of my second deal, we did a conventional loan, and I'm looking at that was a duplex that we purchased back in 2008, I believe. We did a conventional loan. We actually borrowed we did a line of credit from our house that we purchased. And we did a line of credit and took the money of line of credit and put it as down payment to buy that house or that duplex. So we used a home equity and a conventional loan as a as a way to come into that property with no money down. I'm just going to go down this list on this sheet here. Self-directed IRA. We've also purchased property using self-directed IRA. Now, self-directed IRA is you guys have money in your in your 401k. Most people think when they borrow money from a 401k, they're gonna get, or you take money out of your 401k, you will get, there's like a 10% penalty that the government adds to, that the government hits you with. But there is a way you can do that with, if you have money in a 401k, you can roll it over into an IRA. There's a company called Advanta IRA, which is the one we use. There's other companies out there, but you can roll your money over to from your 401k to that IRA, the self-directed IRA, and then you can use that money and you would form an LLC that holds that IRA, and you can actually invest that money then into real estate instead of investing in stocks like most people, like most people with a 401k would tend to do. And that's what we did. We decided to use our 401k money and roll it over to the self-directed IRA and purchase I think we purchased a 6-unit. Yeah, we use it to, there was a 6-unit in South Carolina that I purchased with that. Private money. So yes, some of our, we also use private money loans. Private money is where you're gonna have other individuals that see what you're doing, and they might want to invest with you, and you pay them back an interest. Basically they act as a bank. You're gonna pay them back a certain interest, same thing. That same 6-unit deal that we did, we used some money from our 401k. We also used private money. We had 2 investors that also wanted to partner with us, and they didn't have to do any work. They just helped fund the deal, and they earned, I think we were paying out 10% at that time of whatever they lent us, and we made sure that they, got their initial capital and the 10% of interest that we promised. Hard money is money that you're going to use. If you're doing fix and flips, that's where I would go to. I would go to a hard money lender, because that's money that you're going to have short term, right? You're not going to hold on to that for much more than a year, because hard money the interest is higher, but it allows you to acquire the property, maybe fix it up, and then you can refinance it into a longer term hold, where maybe something with an interest rate that's more reasonable. Another way you can acquire the property or finance it is through seller financing. And seller financing is basically where, and right now, just back in October, I bought an 8-unit with seller financing. This is where the owner of the property acts as a bank. Okay, so you don't necessarily have to go to the bank to get money to finance these deals. Sometimes you can go to the seller, and the seller will basically give you the deed, and he'll write up a mortgage or a note, and you pay him back this money, just as if you were paying back the bank. I think this guy that I did, he held the property in his self-directed IRA. I'm going to mix up some of these. He owns the property in self-directed IRA, and now I'm paying him back money back to his IRA, and I get to own and control this property. Within another couple months, basically, I'll refinance him at that point and pay him back his full amount that I'm borrowing from him, basically, or that I'm paying back the full amount of the property. And at that time, he was out of the picture, and I get to own the property with longer term financing. All right, and equity partnership is another way to acquire real estate. This is where you have 2 or 3 partners come together, and each one owns a equity, and everybody brings something to the deal, right? You might bring cash, you might bring experience, but at the end of the day, you each have equity into this partnership. And when you sell or you refinance this property, whatever monetary gains you have, you split according to whatever equity that you have, whatever your equity split is. So those are different ways that you can finance real estate property. It's not just, there's not just one thing, like you go to the bank and you ask them for money. Try to think of more creative ways. Even if you don't have the money, if you want this property, there is a way to get it done. You just have to figure out what is the best way for you. Any questions? Or I know I threw a lot out there, but if anyone has any questions, this is the time.
All right. Sorry. Thank you, Rod. Yes, we're going to entertain questions. Let's make it maybe 3 or 5 questions in the interest of time, so that we can get to our last speaker, who is Prashant. There's so much to talk about financing a deal. Financing. I know Rod didn't talk about VA and conventional, but like I said, this is just an overview. So we don't have time to go into details in each one of them and what we need to do. It's something we can do next time. So please, any questions, let's throw it at Rod. He's very experienced.
Question. For me, I think, thank you, Rod, for that brief summary. For me, I think, I don't know of other people. This sector, I think Dio needs to think about it. This is usually the first question everybody wants to ask himself. Do I have the money? How do I get the money? So for me, I think it's one big step. I don't know your journey, how Dio and how the guys in the building got over the money part of it, So I would really love if we can have, more session about the money part. Yeah.
Right. When you say the money part, do you mean like how do you come up with a down payment, or how do you?
For example, I noticed in Dio's comment and your comment, you use the FHA loan. We have something similar in Canada as well. And a lot of brokers will say don't use it, especially if you want to go into. So this, and I've always felt it's a good way to get started. You go to the government gives you the loan, you kind of like a partnership with them. And at the end of the day, you both share the equity over time, and then you can sell it off. They take their money but a lot of brokers don't like that. They always say, why not try and raise the 20% yourself? And then trying to raise the 20% then becomes, you're trying to now cover 45,000, and then you're like, okay, I don't have money to start this. Yeah, but if you go with the FHA or something similar in Canada, I'm sure Tosin would know the name of that plan. It's easier for you to work with the government, and you pay a 5% down payment, and then you get going. So like I said, financing for me is a big part. That if there's a book you can recommend as well on how to get past financing, that would be really great.
Yeah. So Canada might be different. I don't know if it's you're talking about they would ask you to put 5% down. Is that the way the Canadian version of FHA works? You put 5% down, and then they finance 95% of the property.
Yes, that's how it works.
Okay.
But
yeah. So
you bring co-partnership with, and you can't use it for business. You have to actually really break it up before you can
have to live there.
You have to live there, definitely. And when you finally decide to let it go, you have to, it's kind of complex. So a lot of realtors don't want to go into it, basically. Yeah. So, but from what I'm hearing, I think, people, it's not, I don't think it's a bad place to start from, though. Yeah. From what I'm hearing now.
Yeah. But
sorry, it's not a question.
Sorry,
it's not a direct question. Sorry, I'm so sorry. Yeah.
No, it's okay.
I've got a question. Okay.
But go ahead.
Yeah. I've got a question, Elias here. I wanted to find out as regards investment properties. I was looking to do some sort of investment recently, and the banker or the loan officer was telling me I would need to do about 0.25 to 0.75 extra in terms of the percentage points on it, just because it's going to be an investment property. And if it's not an investment property, if I'm going to move into it, and then I could get the regular rates that's out there. Is there any other way around that, or do I have to absolutely move from where I stay if I wanted to do an investment property to get the regular rates out there, or the only other option would be to have to do it as an investment property and get the increase in interest rate?
Yeah, so the reason why you get that increase in rates is because now it's a bigger risk for the bank now, because they see as an investment property as a risk, a higher risk than if you were owning it yourself and living in it. So most of these this right now rates are like at 3% or whatever, but that's for regular homeowners. That's for if you're buying a property and you're going to be living in it. Every time you do anything out of the ordinary, the bank is going to try to protect themselves by adding extra points or extra, they'll add more to the rate as a way to protect themselves. It's like insurance for them. So that's why you'd have to do that.
All right.
Thanks.
There was a lady that was about to speak when I said something the other time. I'm sorry. Do you want to ask a question?
Sorry, it was me. So I wanted to know for the self-directed IRA, once you roll over your 401k into that IRA, is there a waiting time before you can invest it? No? So you can do it right away?
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct. You just create an LLC and make the LLC the owner of that self-directed IRA, and you roll the money over to it. And you can invest that same, as soon as it transfers to your account, you can do it.
All right. Thank you very much, Rod. So people that have asked questions.
One more thing.
Okay. Go ahead.
You got to make sure that 401k can't be an active 401k. Okay. If you have one from another company, or if you change jobs or whatever, which is what my case was, I changed jobs and I had a 401k that was no longer active. And then I was able to access it at that point.
Okay, get it.
So you get that, yeah. Let's say, for instance, Sonia, when I moved from Ericsson to Microsoft, instead of transferring my Ericsson 401k into my Microsoft account, that Ericsson 401k, I stop it. I can start using it as a self-directed IRA. All right. So I don't transfer it to Microsoft to continue. Once I link it together, it becomes an active 401k, either a traditional or a broad 401k, whatever. But if you don't link it together, you can use that as self-directed IRA. All right.
I wish I knew that, because I just
let's change job again.
Now during this environment, you can pull out $100,000 out of your 401k tax-free, right? And you don't have to pay for it within 3 years.
Yep.
So that's another option.
So yeah, like we were saying, there's so many ways. Most of us, we have the money, we didn't just know how to use it. Cash out, refi, talk about ELOC. We didn't talk about all those ones. There's so many things. If you bought your first home before, these are opportunities that you can use, like we used to get started. So, maybe this is something we can explore in depth. VA loan, people that have military background, is going to be just very good. It's probably the cheapest one out there. So, conventional, the 20%. So we can look into all this, extra as we go forward. And just to move forward, let me introduce Mr. Hollywood. We call him Hollywood at work. Have anybody seen Namaste Wahala? So Prashant was the guy there, in case you didn't know. He was that looking good guy that did the Netflix movie. So I'm recommending the movie. If you want to see more of Prashant, go check him out. All right. Prashant, I've known Prashant for most probably 4 years now. We worked together while he was in California. I was in Oregon. And we decided we both moved at the same time to our office in Georgia. He was the one that introduced me to the bigger pocket, like I said. He's very, very great. We bounce ideas off each other every now and then, either at work. He even introduced me to, a loan officer, Mary, that was able to help us with our last acquisition. Speaking about your network, it's your network. When we talk about work, finish. We talk about real estate at work, and that was how I got to know that Mary can help me with property. So I'm going to introduce Prashan. You can follow him on Instagram, just like you can also follow Rod if you want to learn more. Prashan is just going to freestyle, tell us about when and why did he get into real estate investing, type of properties he's investing in, how does he find his deal, how does he fund it? Some of us have asked questions about funding deals. So, Mr. Hollywood, over to you.
All right. Thank you so much, Dio. And it's so nice to see everybody over here on the call and wanting to kind of get into real estate. I was in your situation, I would say 3 years ago, when I was a newbie and I didn't know a lot about real estate. But at that point in time, I did know what I wanted to kind of have long term, and which was financial freedom. So on the first topic, which is why I chose real estate, or what was my path into real estate, is it started from why asking yourself in terms of like, what do you see yourself in 5 to 10 years, right? What do you really want to do? At that point in time, I wanted to see if I could have a business of my own, which would actually generate passive income. And at the same time, enable me to actually create financial freedom. And the last and the very big motivation that I had for myself is currently I am working to make money, but in the future, I wanted my money to work for me. So that was one of the really good reasons or motivation that I had. And that's why I kind of started to explore as to what are different avenues which are actually going to generate me passive income and not going to take a lot of my time investment, right? So talking to multiple different people, just like how Dio is mentioning, talking about stocks, talking about real estate, how everybody is trying to actually get to that financial freedom. I kind of got my comfortness on real estate because that is something which was tangible to me. Wherein if I'm buying something, I'm able to see it. I'm able to actually work in it, make sure that I'm actually talking, I have my tenant. So basically the tangible aspect of real estate was very exciting to me. And at the same time, like 3 or 4 years ago, I actually got married. And my wife, prior to getting married to me, she and her family were into real estate. So currently they have close to 50 doors that they manage by themselves. And at that point in time, I got an opportunity to actually go visit them. And I was just curious, and I used to talk to my brother-in-law, talk to my wife, and talk about their journey. And at the same time, I got to witness a lot of things that they were actually doing in their business because I was staying with them for a little bit on vacation or whatever it was. So it was just the inquisitiveness or the curiousness that I had in myself because I wanted to kind of get to financial freedom, kind of got me to where I am today, right? Somebody somewhere, or I read it somewhere, that people don't plan to fail. They fail to plan. And I didn't really want to be that person who actually failed planning, right? So at that point in time, I was like, okay, fine. Real estate seems like a really good thing that I want to kind of get myself into. So then I started investing in myself. That was the first step that I did. And that's what Dio is saying. Like we started reading books, went online, saw a bunch of YouTube videos. One thing led to another. And I got to know about Bigger Pockets, and I just bumped into Bigger Pockets. I was on my phone one day and I wanted to kind of hear podcast, and I was like, real estate podcast, and Bigger Pocket was the first thing that actually appeared on the podcast list. So I started listening to podcasts. And back then I used to live in California and had a traveling job. So I would actually go to a lot of countries, and on my flights, that was the only thing that I did. So that was the reason why I started to kind of get into real estate. When did I start? So this all happened 3 years ago. This is when I purchased my first property. And one of the things that made me successful in purchasing my first property was, like I said, education And at the second thing, I always told myself that I need to know what my success criteria is when I'm actually pulling a trigger on a deal. So as soon as I figured out my success criteria, and Sandra did mention, location plays a very big role. At the same time, you've got to be honest with yourself in terms of what the cash on cash return that you need. At the same time, what the overall 5 to 10 year plan on that particular property looks like. So I had all those things figured out. Still, I was very naive, and my brother-in-law and my wife were kind of coaching and training me all the while. So 3 years ago, we purchased our first single family home. That was in the same neighborhood as we have our own primary home. And how did we buy that property? It was kind of going into the third bullet. How do I find my deals? It was like a word of mouth kind of a deal. So you just have to kind of let people know out there, hey, that you are somebody who wants to get into real estate. This is my success criteria. If something comes along, then don't hesitate to give me a call. We can try to work something out. We just gotta, like, there are so many people out there who know a lot more about real estate. So as a newbie, try to bring something of a value to them on the table, rather than just asking them, saying that, hey, I just want to learn more. I just want to find a deal. That is probably not the right way to do it. Just try to get some value or bring some value to the table. And I'm telling you, 9 out of 10 times, people who have been successful in real estate would be more than willing to share their experience. Then I would say my second deal was one of the bigger deals, wherein we acquired like 6 different doors, which was like 3 different duplexes. So each property had like 2 doors in it. And this happened during the COVID time last year. And I was at my brother-in-law's place. We were just having a good time. And then my brother-in-law has really good network in the area where he actually lives. So he came across just by word of mouth that this particular guy is wanting to sell his property. And we walked by there, we actually looked at the property, everything kind of worked out. And the first thing that I do, I'm a very curious person, so I start running numbers. And I have built in my calculator, and that if you go to Bigger Pockets, there are calculators available over there too. But again, at that point in time, your success criteria kind of comes very crucial when to pull the trigger. So again, my second deal, which was like totally 6 units, also was a word of mouth kind of a deal. It was an off-market property, which we were able to kind of do. And here we are today. We have in total 7 properties that we have. They are close to $500,000 worth of assets. And all of them were potentially like kind of turnkey, wherein the tenants already existed in them. And the only thing that we had to do is make sure that the numbers kind of worked out. And the rate of return that we were desiring just made sense for us at that point in time. And that is just one way of finding deals. But I have always, I'm very curious about where the market is going and stuff. So like I use traditional methods as well, like Zillow or Realtor.com. I kind of put in my success criteria inside Zillow, and you can kind of custom filter everything. So every time a property kind of comes up, which kind of fits your success criteria, you'll get it. And then at that point in time, you can quickly run your numbers and jump on a bandwagon. And how do I fund my deals? Lastly, so funding my deals, all the deals that I've actually bought so far, I've all been on conventional loans. So I was fortunate that I had a lot of money sitting in the bank. And as I said, I wanted the money to start working for me rather than me working for the money. So it just turned out that all the numbers and analysis that we did was easier to kind of pull the trigger because we already had money in the bank. So that's how we've been funding our deals. Our long-term goal is to, if everything goes well, is to acquire 20 additional doors, which will definitely get me to financial freedom. And that is something that we want to do in next 6 years, which kind of gives me and my wife around 3 deals that we want to actually do a year. And we have our success criteria too. I'm not going to go into those details in terms of what my success criteria are, but feel free to reach out to me on Instagram, and I can definitely walk you through how I do my analysis and how we pull the trigger.
All right. Thank you very much, Prashan. That was good. Any questions or questions? We are almost done. Just one more slide left. Is there any questions? Maybe 1 or 2, 3 questions.
I have a question.
Sure.
If it's not too personal, what is your cash on cash return?
Sure. I mean, I bare minimum. So basically, this is what I tell myself. If I put my money in stock market right now and I kind of put it in S&P 500 ETF or index fund mirroring S&P 500, then over the last 30 years, it has given 10% year-on-year return. So I at least need 10% year-on-year. So if real estate is able to kind of give me, a deal is able to kind of give me at least 12% of more, then that's one of my success criteria.
All right, that's good. I like that. Any other question?
Sorry, Prashan, is that net or gross?
That would be net.
Prashan loves money. Any other questions? Any other question for Prashan? All right. So wrapping up, I actually wanted Prashan to speak because Prashan is my colleague. So let me tell you why I invited Prashan. Most of us, we claim we don't have time. So Prashant, we work together at Facebook. It's a very busy place to work. It's fun. But if Prashant and his wife can start together and own a Georgia E-Group Property LLC, if Dayo and his wife can start holding a Blooming Edge, you know, that means all you have to do is just know how to manage your time. So that's why I actually brought Prashant here. So that you don't, we always tend to give ourselves those excuses. Hey, where do I start? I don't even know a realtor. You know Sandra. Even if Sandra does not live in New Jersey, Sandra has told Biodu to reach out to her. You know, hey, I don't know about this loan. Reach out to, you know, Rod. Or hey, Dayo, can I reach out to that gentleman that talked about to finance a deal? Oh, Dayo, how do I start LLC? Maybe I'm too busy. I'll link you to Prashant, you know? So there's so many things that we can do. All we have to do is just give our time. Remember, winning has a prize. And that prize, most time, is always time. Time is what makes difference in everything we do. There was one thing Rod did not talk about, which I thought he was going to talk about. You know, during the COVID crisis, Rod Joseph, the gentleman that spoke about how to finance the deal, he lost his job. You know, his job was not, it was phased out. And he was saying, thank God, I already started investing in real estate since 2006. Now, maybe he's a millionaire yet, I'm not sure. But his real estate is able to fend for his family. He and his wife, they've invested so much in real estate, they can turn things around. He doesn't have to work for someone else. Maybe he wasn't planning to retire at this age. But guess what? The real estate that he has been trying and started since then, it's helping. Most of us fall into this trap of, I work with a great company, the money is there, just like I did before I lost my job in 2016, and everything goes well. It's a cycle in life. Things are going to go up and down. So before it gets to that down, invest your money, do the right things, and make sure that, you know, you can get this money coming in for you. You know, so far you can invest your time into this real estate. If you want to do stock, invest your time in stock. I know Sugar, I know Dakbo, Tosi, I know. A lot of my friends are into stock. So either stock or real estate, whatever works for you. I have no bias by any one of them. But more importantly, you need to devote your time into this thing. So I'm not sure. Rod showed up again. You want to talk about losing your job and how things are going in RTJ rentals before we move forward?
Yeah, I was just going to say that you're right. Starting early, that was always my plan to get out of. Then I like IT, but comes a point where, I don't know if you guys are in these high performing jobs. There is a point where you get tired of the politics, of the office politics, and whatever's going. Just waking up and not being appreciated for what you do. I decided that I'm going to put my time and effort into building something for myself, and using that high income as a leverage to help myself and my family have something that lasts and not depending on the corporate machine. So yeah, COVID hit in March. Our company downsized, 300 people were let go. I was one of them. And, my wife and I, we decided, we first, it's like a shock when it happens. But then we looked at our finances. You know what? We're okay. We're good. Because yeah, we won't be able to take vacations or or whatever, but we can survive on what we have. And actually, during that year, the next few months, I bought another condo, and I bought that 8-unit deal in College Park. So we've increased our net worth since then, because now I have time to look for deals. I don't have to worry about answering to somebody. And whatever time and effort that I put in, it comes back to me tenfold now, and I get to keep it, and I can pass it on to my kids or whatever I decide to do with it. But I just want to let you guys know that, and I got to tell you though, the more money you make, the harder it is to become financially free. That's more passive income you have to create. If I was a garbage man, it wouldn't take me much, to become financially free. I'd need maybe 3 or 4 properties and I'd be done. But when you are, when you're making the money that you're making, you have a lot of passive income you have to create in order so you don't have to depend on that check. I called it the golden handcuffs, because you're kind of tied to that desk because you can't leave, because you need that income coming in. You have the house, you have the car, kids have probably in private school. You have a lot to cover, but real estate can help you do it, and I feel like there's a lot of ways to success, but real estate is one of the ways that you can do it with less risk. All right, that's all I got to say.
All right, thank you very much, Rod. We are wrapping up. Thank you very much if you have stayed with us this far, people that have joined.
Can I have a question for Rod?
Okay.
Yeah. So Rod, I just want to ask for your opinion. Do you think it's better to invest in the state you live, or it does not really matter? What's your opinion about this?
Yeah, right now it does not matter. I'm in South Carolina, Georgia, and Florida. So it doesn't really matter the state, as long as you can, as long as you, to me, it's all about the deal. If you find a deal that, and you can manage the property, you find a way to manage the property, it doesn't matter where it's coming from, where the money's coming from.
All right. Lala, does that answer your question, Lala?
Yeah. It's. I think I get it wrong a little bit. Like, I don't really mean about the money, but I'm just concerned about the state. Is it better to invest in that state you live, or if you find a better deal somewhere outside the state you reside?
Yeah, I said it doesn't matter what state you're in. You can invest if the deal is good.
Okay.
If it doesn't matter, just you got to make sure you're able to manage the property, or you find somebody to help you manage the property.
Okay, makes sense.
I think that's the part like Biodun really is concerned about, the property management. So, hey, Sandra does property management in Georgia. I think she mentioned that. So another extra like for Sandra. All right, we are done. Thank you very much, everybody. Our company is Blooming Edge. If you want to connect and partner with us, maybe you want to know more. I'm not sure if we're going to talk about analyzing a deal, depending on what the interest is, because I think that's one thing we didn't talk about. We might want to talk about that later. If you have more questions, reach out to me. Either me or my wife will pick it up and answer. She's the social media director. So when you see response, it's probably coming from her. And so you can, follow us on all those social media handles. We really appreciate your time. Yeah, like I said, if we have time, we'll go over other things as we go forward. All right, we are done. Firstly, before the questions, maybe there's 1 or 2 more questions. I'm still thinking of the best way to share this information. It's almost 2 hours. I said it was going to be an hour, but the introduction took a lot. I will try and see if I can put it in a Google Drive where I can share the link on the Instagram, whereby anybody can pick it up and rewatch it the slide and the video. So, but whatever the case is, that's not because I want you to follow me on Instagram, but I think that's the only way I can do it right now. So, any questions? We can still entertain 2 or 3 more questions before we go. Rod is here, Sandra is here, Prashant is here. Let's wrap it up. Any personal questions, we can direct it to my WhatsApp, and most of you have my phone number. So, any public questions, let's reach out. If there's no question, then I can wrap it up. So, I'll leave for some type of questions now. Any questions about what I've talked about earlier, the property types, our real estate journey, other stuff, you know?
Hey, Di, can you hear?
Yes.
No, this is not a question. I just want to say thank you to the speakers. Great information. Yeah, that's all I got. Thank you, guys. Most definitely will connect with you guys offline to, to ask more questions and get it going from there. And special thanks to you, Di, too.
All right. Thank you, Otumba. All right. Any more?
Okay. Hello, Dio. So,
yes, Yola. You're
yeah.
awake. Thank you.
So I'm on I couldn't introduce myself earlier on. I guess you must have called my name because the internet was kindly not too good here. So I just want to say thank you to all the facilitators. It's a good idea. I'm calling from Nigeria. And the question I have is, to every business, there's a risk. So I just want to know if there's a risk. I'm just pointing it out to the 4 of you guys. Then how do you mitigate it? So it's just a generic question that, if you want to invest, if you want to partner, what are the things we should look out for? And
there is a risk.
Then how do you guys, have you ever come across something like that? And how were you able to mitigate it, at the point of encountering this? So that's just a simple question I have for now.
All right, Rod, go ahead.
There is a risk in real estate, but I think education. You have to educate yourself. Education really is the way to defeat that. If you take time to educate yourself, or you link up with somebody that has that education and maybe can lead you down the path and show you where the stumble blocks are, you will you'll be able to bypass those and any downside that there is.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. It is. Thank you.
I can add to it if Dario, you could. Can I add to it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Please.
I mean, there is definitely risk to everything in my perspective, but till the time you can write those risks down, at least the ones that you have noticed or you foresee, and you have created a risk register and you know how you're going to tackle them, then that eliminates a lot of different things, a lot of different unknowns. And although there are risks with some unknowns which you're never going to know when they happen, but till the time you have a good exit strategy, like when you buy a deal, you also should have an exit strategy. So till the time you have an exit strategy, I think overall, you become very, very, very low on risk, unless there's a economic downturn, which nobody really thought about. But if you are a buy and hold kind of an investor, I think most of the time you will be able to ride the wave.
Okay, thank you very much.
One last question. One last question.
Oh, okay, 2 people. Okay.
Can I go? Can I go ahead?
Go ahead.
Okay, Lala, go first. David will go later.
Okay, so I'm directing these questions to everyone, Dio, Rod, and everyone. So do you ever think this market can spin back to buyer's market? Because right now I see it as a seller market. Do you think it can spin back to become a buyer's market? And also, I've seen situations where people don't want to pay their rent, and it's very, very hard to evict people from home right now. It's so difficult to evict people from home. I've seen people who sold their house because tenants are not even paying rent. They've gone to court, they've done everything. And I have a friend who actually paid his tenant to leave his house. I've seen issues like that. And there's something that happened recently in New York where the owner have to kidnap the seller or his tenant because he has gone to court several times. He didn't win the case. He didn't win this case and everything. So he has to kidnap the tenant so that he can tell them he's lost or something, so he can get him out of the house. How do you deal with situations like this? Because you've been in the business for long. I know probably you would have encountered some issues like this. And my other question is this: in your own opinion, would you rather prefer to rent your house to Section 8 people, or it does not really matter? These are my questions.
All right. Let me let Sandra take that on, because Sandra can talk about the market and she can talk about the whole restrictions to rent payments right now. So we'll take the last question and we have to wrap up because it's almost 6. So Sandra.
I'd say, I'd say, we can definitely talk offline about this because it's a loaded question. But in general, with COVID and the eviction moratoriums, it has become difficult. It was difficult last year. We were petitioning Congress to release assistance to tenants, not just telling us don't evict. And so this year with the CARES Act, you have money that has been set aside to each state to help tenants. So if you're a landlord right now, I would say you need to look at your county, go and apply on behalf of your tenant, and your tenants should be applying for rental assistance to help. That way you can get some money. Now, that's with the eviction moratorium. Neither you or I has control over that. That was a government mandate and it has been extended. So you want to be careful. If you're buying a property now that has no tenants, then you need to really set up your tenant screening criteria when they're applying, okay? To, really, really drill down and find out, are these people really employed? Where do they work, the income, the things that you would normally do to get a tenant, but now you have to be a little more careful and particular. I don't mean, when I say particular, I mean on an income basis. Set up your screening criteria. You cannot run foul of equal housing opportunity laws because that's a federal offense. So you need to just know in terms of your tenant screening, what you're going to set up. You cannot evict now, again, because of the eviction moratorium. If you're buying a property with a tenant in it, you want to get all the financial information, your tenant roll, the copy of the lease, copy of the security deposit. You need to review those things. But keep in mind, if the seller is desperate and wants to get this non-paying tenant, like get this property out of their hands, they may lie. And who is in control of that? You don't know how that's going to go. So you really want to be careful in that regard. What was the other question he asked? He was like, you can't evict.
Buyer seller market.
So honestly, nobody has a crystal ball. I was listening to like an hour-long presentation today about the market. Just remember, real estate is in cycles. What goes up is going to come down, right? So it's with time, it's going to become a buyer's market. Who's going to tell you when it's going to become a buyer's market? Let me just say this to kind of summarize. A lot of homeowners filed for forbearance last year. At some point, that's going to expire. Is it going to expire this year? And is everything going to crash this year? My own little 2 cents, that I'm not an economist or I don't have a crystal ball or anything, I don't think so. I think the government has really pumped a lot of money into the economy. Maybe next year we will see the effect of the stimulus in the sense of negative effects. We're going to see something, but as to when it's going to happen, we're not sure. You just need to be prepared. When it does become a buyer's market, can you take advantage? When the market crashed, I was an agent and I would literally be showing a property to my client and I would have a non-English speaking person come up and in so many few words ask me, house, how much, me, buy, because it was a buyer's market and they had the cash. So I'm just going to say to you, watch, read, be careful where you're getting your information from, because when the market was crashing and people were like, oh, foreclosures everywhere, there were huge groups of investors that were buying properties for dirt cheap. You didn't hear about them, but they were slowly, quietly amassing their real estate fortune. So I would just tell you, watch the trends, read, figure out what your plan is. And when the market does change, you better be in a position to take advantage of it. It's always going to go up and come down, go up and come down. But whatever it's doing, the question is, are you in a position to take advantage of it?
All right. Sorry, David, you can reach out to me. Okay, you know what? Ask a question. Let me know. Deny you that.
Okay.
You're probably the longest person I know in this group. You are an OPP. Let me not deny you that benefit.
It's okay. Basically, what I wanted to ask about was about well, flipping houses. I wanted to find out if you guys were into flipping or you buy long term.
Okay, so currently we do long term, we do buy and hold, which we don't flip. It's something we might do in the near future. I think my wife is more interested in that aspect of real estate. Sandra has some experience in flipping for our investors. I'm not sure about Rod, but you and I can think more about that, and we can look into that. I just want to make sure that yeah. So, anyways, thank you very much, everybody. I really appreciate it. Sorry, you want to say something before we go? Anybody?
No,
I'm trying to wrap up.
Okay,
good.
Say,
Sapo just told me that I can download the file and put it in YouTube. We don't have a YouTube account yet, so I'm probably going to create one. Then I'll put it on the Instagram so that you can redirect to the YouTube if you want to watch the video. But thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. I really appreciate your time. I'm going to allow my managing partner, I know she won't want to talk. Babe, we are close it up. You've been quiet all along. Wrap it up.
Yeah, this has been a very interesting session. I want to thank you all. Thank you all for the very, very informative different experiences that you brought in, and thank you to all of you who has participated by listening in, by asking questions. Yeah, as we know, real estate is very broad. It's a very broad topic, and there's so much to learn. There's so much that we, probably still have questions. Some, there's just a lot, and we hope that in the near future we'll be able to have such a session again and meet it with you all, and hopefully would be able to discuss a lot deeper than we've done today. So thank you all. We appreciate you. Thanks, Rod, Sandra, Prashant. God bless you all. Thank you.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Yep.
Hi, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dayo. Thanks, Yemisi. Bye, everybody. Thanks, Rod. Thanks, Prashant. Nice meeting you guys. Bye.